Hello, you're watching CVR News English. This is Savira Kottupalli. Welcome to World Bulletin. Well, moving to the details, Israeli gets stuck multiple buildings in Lebanese coastal city of Tyre, sending large clouds of black smoke into the air.
سبقه قبل قليل كان هناك صاروخ مسيرة إسرائيلية استهدفت محطة الجزيرة. هذه هي الخطوة الأسرع الكامل الذي تم توجيه التهديد الإسرائيلي باتجاهه على اعتبار أنه يقع باتجاه وبالتالي
Meanwhile, US Vice President Kamala Harris' comments come after Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, said Trump wanted military generals like Adolf Hitler's. Harris said the comments were shocking, unacceptable, and were a window into who Donald Trump really is from the people who know him best. Well, the people who have worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and Situation Room.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him. He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is, from the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room. And it is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. So the bottom line is this: we know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power. The question in 13 days will be, what do the American people want? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So yesterday we learned that Donald
Meanwhile, National Security spokesperson John Kirby says the U.S. believes that at least 3,000 North Korean soldiers traveled by ship to Russia in early to mid-October. Well, Russia and North Korea have denied the troop movements but have boosted their cooperation.
I think, as you have all heard earlier this morning, we have seen the public reporting indicating that North Korean soldiers are traveling to Russia to fight against Ukraine. We're working closely with our allies and partners to gain a full understanding of this situation, but today I'm prepared to share what we know at this stage. We assess that between early to mid-October, North Korea moved at least 3,000 soldiers into eastern Russia. We assess that these soldiers traveled by ship from the Wonsan area in North Korea to Vladivostok, Russia. These soldiers then traveled onward to multiple Russian military training sites in eastern Russia, where they are currently undergoing training. We do not yet know whether these soldiers will enter into combat alongside the Russian military, but this is certainly a highly concerning probability. After completing training, these soldiers could travel to Western Russia and then engage in combat against the Ukrainian military. We have briefed the Ukrainian government on our understanding of this situation, and we're certainly consulting closely with other allies, partners, and countries in the region on the implications of such a dramatic move and on how we might respond. For the time being, we will continue to monitor this situation closely. But let's be clear. If North Korean soldiers do enter into combat, this development would demonstrate Russia's growing desperation in its war against Ukraine. Russia is suffering extraordinary casualties on the battlefield every single day, but President Putin appears intent on continuing this war. If Russia is indeed forced to turn to North Korea for manpower, this would be a sign of weakness, not strength, on the part of the Kremlin. I think, as you have all heard earlier this morning, we have seen the public reporting indicating that North Korean soldiers are traveling to Russia to fight against Ukraine.
Meanwhile, rapper Eminem spoke in support of Vice President Kamala Harris' presidential campaign in his hometown before introducing former President Barack Obama at a rally. After being welcomed on stage by the music icon, Obama rapped several lines from Eminem's hit Lose Yourself, joking that he noticed my palms are sweaty.
I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please. I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known. I think Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected and upheld.
Say, you know, I have done a lot of rallies, so I don't usually get nervous. But I was feeling some kind of way following Eminem. And I notice my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
Meanwhile, torrential rain set off by an approaching tropical storm swamped eastern Philippine cities and towns overnight in widespread flooding that trapped people, some of their roofs, and sparked frantic appeals for rescue boats and trucks, officials said.
Stay sa left corner. Allen, stay sa left corner. Thank you guys.
Ito si Disney Princess. Si Aurora Princess dyan.
Stay sa left corner. Allen, stay sa left corner. Thank you guys.
Meanwhile, political tension in Bangladesh was growing anew after a leading student group called for the country's figurehead president to resign over comments he made that appeared to call into a question former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's resignation in August.
নিশ্চিত করা হবে এবং আওয়ামী লীগের সকল সন্ত্রাসের বিচার নিশ্চিত না করা হবে ততদিন পর্যন্ত আমরা আমাদের কঠোর অবস্থান চালিয়ে যাব আমরা আমাদের এই যুদ্ধ চালিয়ে যাব কিনা আমরা একজন দেশ রাষ্ট্রপতিকে হওয়ার যে রূপরেখা আমরা সিলেক্ট করি এবং সেনাপ্রধান আসক তারপরে হচ্ছে আমরা এই সপ্তাহের মধ্যেই শত্রুকে আমরা প্রতিষ্ঠিত করব।
Meanwhile, suspected Kurdish militants set off explosive and open fire at Turkey's state-run aerospace and defense company TUSAS, killing 5 people and wounding more than a dozen, the interior minister said.
Ankara Kazan ilçemizde yerli ve milli savunma sanayimizin göz bebeği TUSAŞ'a maalesef 15-26'da bir terör saldırısı olmuştur. Biri kadın, biri erkek olmak üzere 2 terörist etkisiz hale getirilmiştir. Maalesef değerli arkadaşlar 4 şehidimiz bulunmakta. 14 yaralımız var. Yaralılarımızdan 3'ünün durumu ağır. Terörü lanetliyoruz değerli arkadaşlar. Kimlik tespit çalışmaları devam ediyor. Kimlikleri belli olur olmaz bunlarla ilgili hangi terör örgütü olduğuyla ilgili sizlerle bunu aziz milletimizle bunu paylaşacağız. Ankara Kazan ilçemizde yerli ve milli savunma sanayimizin göz bebeği TUSAŞ'a maalesef 15-26'da.
Meanwhile, Republican Vice Presidential nominee Senator J.D. Vance held a campaign rally in Las Vegas, Nevada, highlighting home ownership and the cost of housing for Americans.
Now, one of the things I want to talk about today is housing and how unaffordable housing has gotten in the state of Nevada. It's a disgrace, my friends. We've got a lot of Americans who can't afford to buy a home, can't afford to pay their rent, and it's because Kamala Harris has failed to do her job. 2 things to lower the price of housing for Nevadans is we've got to build more houses and we've got to deport the illegal aliens so that American homes go to American citizens. First of all, we're going to drill, baby drill, lower energy costs, and that's going to make it easier to build homes. We're going to stop the ridiculous regulations that make it harder for our construction companies and our workers to build homes in the first place. And the third thing we're going to do, especially in Nevada, is we have got so many acres of federal land that are being totally unused, but we could build houses on that federal land and make it more affordable for American citizens to afford a good life. Now, one of the things I want to talk about.
Meanwhile, the sensational trial of 50 men accused of raping an unwitting and unconscious French woman who was repeatedly drugged by her husband has exposed what critics say is a dark rape culture in the country. Well, Giselle Pellicotte testified again for an hour and a half, and the trial, which started September 2nd and isn't expected to conclude until December, has exposed how pornography, chat rooms and men's disdain for or hazy understandings of consent is fueling rape culture.
Non, c'est pas grave. Tu as tellement. T'as une carte. Tu te mets un livre dessus. Et puis, une petite pierre. Tu sais, c'est une malachite.
Vous prenez plus ça.
Meanwhile, former President Bill Clinton made the case that Harris is a stronger candidate to tackle inflation than Trump during a speech to black Democrats in Phoenix.
The Republicans are geniuses at sowing doubt and division. This woman's an alien. Trump's called her every name in the bookie, including a communist. Heck, there hadn't been any communists around in decades, but you know, it sounds bad. So we got this close race, and over here is Kamala Harris with what she calls a new way forward. Practical solutions to the cost of living problems. Practical solutions to energy and healthcare problems. A clear, proven way of dealing with a lot of our foreign policy crises. And over here is Mr. Brandon Blaine. So I'm pleading with you, every one of you. You know this race is tight as a tick. You know you can win. You know you can win. It depends on how bad you want it. And I'm telling you, she's worth the effort, and you'll be proud of this for the rest of your life if you do it. God bless you. The Republicans are geniuses at sowing doubt and division. This woman's an alien. Trump's called her every name in the bookie, including a communist. Heck, there hadn't been any communists around in decades, but you know, it sounds bad. So we got this close race, and over here is Kamala Harris with what she calls a new way forward. Practical solutions to the cost of living problems. Practical solutions to energy and healthcare problems. A clear, proven way of dealing with a lot of our foreign policy crises. And over here is Mr. Brandon Blaine. So I'm pleading with you, every one of you. You know this race is tight as a tick. You know you can win. You know you can win. It depends on how bad you want it. And I'm telling you, she's worth the effort, and you'll be proud of this for the rest of your life if you do it. God bless you.
Well, years of conflict in eastern Congo have created a dire mental health crisis. Aid groups says the number of people seeking care has spiked as fighting intensifies.
Asubuhi nikakamata hii kitambala nikaifanya hivi kusudi nishiuwe, nipanike pale nyuma. Sasa nikaona, nikasikia, nikawaza gisi batoto wangu nikajiua batabakia wapi. Niko mubya vile nikasikia mtu anapiga hodi, akanisalimia, akaniuliza ni nini yenye uko amo. Nikemuelezea, akaniambia usifanye vya vile, kufanya vya vile ni mubaya. Ndio nikeacha.
D'ici et là, il y a la guerre, il y a aussi il y a d'autres problèmes.
Vraiment, les nombres augmentent du jour au jour parce que il y a beaucoup de difficultés que la communauté traverse.
Mkono mwana piga ingine inaacha na unakuwa nasikia gisi
Asubuhi nikakamata hii kitambala nikaifanya hivi kusudi nishiue, niipanike pale nyuma. Sasa nikaona, nikasikia, nikawaza gisi batoto wangu nikajiua, batabakia wapi? Niko mubya vile, nikasikia mtu anapiga hodi, akanisalimia, akaniuliza ni nini yenye uko amo. Nikamuelezea, akaniambia usifanye vya vile, kufanya vya vile ni mubaya. Ndio nikiacha.
D'ici et là, il y a la guerre, il y a aussi il y a d'autres problèmes. Vraiment, les nombres augmentent du jour au jour parce que il y a beaucoup de difficultés que la communauté traverse.
Well, about 3,000 North Korean troops have been sent to Russia and they are now receiving training on drones and other equipment before being deployed to battlefields in Ukraine, South Korea's spy chief told lawmakers.
현재 추가적으로 1,500여 명이 더 파견된 것으로 보인다. 그래서 이제까지 러시아로 이동된 총 북한군 규모는 약 3,000여 명으로 판단하고 있다라고 하는 것이고요. 물론 실제로 더 파견되었을 수도 있고 또 일부 숫자에 차이가 있을 수는 있지만 대략적으로 그 정도로 파악하고 있다라고 하는 거고, 러시아와 북한 사이에 계획한 약 1만여 명의 파병은 12월경으로 예상된다라고 보고가 있었습니다.
네. 러시아군이 한국어 통역 자원을 대규모로 선발하고 있다는 동향이 확인되고 있으며, 북한군에게 군사장비 사용법은 물론 무인기 조종 등 특수교육도 진행하고 있다는 사실도 확인되었습니다. 또한 군사훈련에 참여한 러시아 교관들은 북한군이 체력과 사기는 우수하나 드론 공격 등 현대전에 대한 이해가 부족하다고 평가하고, 전선에 투입될 시에 사망자가 다수 발생할 것으로 예상하고 있습니다.
현재 추가적으로 1,500여 명이 더 파견된 것으로 보인다. 그래서 이제까지 러시아로 이동된 총 북한군 규모는 약 3,000여 명으로 판단하고 있다라고 하는 것이고요. 물론 실제로 더 파견되었을 수도 있고 또 일부 숫자에 차이가 있을 수는 있지만 대략적으로 그 정도로 파악하고 있다라고 하는 거고, 러시아와 북한 사이에 계획한 약 1만여 명의 파병은 12월경으로 예상된다라고 보고가 있었습니다.
네. 러시아군이 한국어 통역 자원을 대규모로 선발하고 있다는 동향이 확인되고 있으며, 북한군에게 군사장비 사용법은 물론 무인기 조종 등 특수교육도 진행하고 있다는 사실도 확인되었습니다. 또한 군사훈련에 참여한 러시아 교관들은 북한군이 체력과 사기는 우수하나 드론 공격 등 현대전에
Meanwhile, a Democrat hasn't won the North Carolina presidential election since 2008. Well, the party is hoping women upset over the overturning of a national right to abortion will help the state again blue.
I'm afraid to bring a child into the world.
This presidential election, the issue of abortion is never far from tattoo artist Liz Gruesome Haycraft's mind.
I'm afraid that I'll have a daughter in this world and I'm afraid that she won't be treated as a person. I don't think we should have to be forced to do that.
Across the road from Haycraft Studio, at a resource center for Republican candidates, volunteer Bree Eldridge has another view.
My belief, you have two consenting adults. That's when the woman makes the choice. If you make the choice to engage in activity that will result in a pregnancy, then you must deal with the consequences. To me, having abortion shouldn't be a solution to that.
4 years ago, just 3% of North Carolina voters said reproductive rights were their top issue. But according to data collected by AP Votecast, that number jumped to 10% in 2022, following the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling overturning Roe v. Wade. North Carolina State University political scientist Stephen Green says Democrats are hoping trends like that can help turn this battleground state blue this presidential election.
With an election that's so close, everything counts. And so for Democrats, again, they think part of that strategy of everything counts is motivating people on the abortion issue.
North Carolina has been flooded with ads focusing on reproductive rights and former President Donald Trump's role in ending the nationwide right to an abortion.
Girls and women all over the country have lost the right to choose.
Many play off controversial comments by Republican gubernatorial nominee Mark Robinson.
Abortion in this country is not about protecting the lives of mothers. It's about killing a child because you aren't responsible enough to keep your skirt down.
30 years ago, my wife and I made a very difficult decision. We had an abortion.
The lieutenant governor filmed an ad acknowledging his wife's abortion and saying he supported the state's current law on the practice.
Take a free gift.
Laura Brown does sidewalk ministry for a pregnancy clinic just up the road from this Planned Parenthood facility. She believes the Democrats are using abortion to manipulate young women.
I believe they're being told there's only one option and that they're too young to have children, and I would say that that is wrong.
Currently, North Carolina bans most abortions at 12 weeks, with exceptions in cases of rape and incest, or when the mother's health is at risk.
I'm afraid to bring a child into the world.
This presidential election, the issue of abortion is never far from tattoo artist Liz Gruesome Haycraft's mind.
I'm afraid that I'll have a daughter in this world, and I'm afraid that she won't be treated as a person. I don't think we should have to be forced to do that.
Across the road from Haycraft Studio, at a resource center for Republican candidates, volunteer Bree Eldridge has another view.
My belief, you have two
Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said there is evidence that North Korea has sent troops to Russia. Well, exactly what the North Korean troops are doing in Russia was left to be seen, Austin told reporters in Rome.
We are seeing evidence that there are North Korean troops that have gone to Africa. Now, what exactly? Not Africa, but Russia. What exactly they're doing, left to be seen. These are things that we need to sort out. We'll have more for you on that later. But yeah, as we continue to look at this, there is evidence that there are DPRK troops, in Russia. So, if there are co-belligerents, their intention is to participate in this war on Russia's behalf. That is a very, very serious issue. And it will have impacts not only in Europe, it will also impact things. We are seeing evidence that there are North Korean troops that have gone to Africa. Now, what exactly? Not Africa, but Russia. What exactly they're doing, left to be seen. These are things that we need to sort out. We'll have more for you on that later. But yeah, as we continue to look at this, there is evidence that there are DPRK troops, in Russia. So, if there are co-belligerents, their intention is to participate in this war on Russia's behalf. That is a very, very serious issue, and it will have impacts not only in Europe. It will also.
Well, those were the latest updates in World Bulletin. Keep watching CVR News English. This is Havila Kottapalli. Have a good day.